What's up, guys? Slavka Labamka here. Over a year ago, I made a video about the unlimited Verizon 4G LTE internet, and I showed you how to configure GLINet X750 router with a SIM card and how to get it all configured to do unlimited internet for Verizon to get through the throttling settings that Verizon has for data tethering. That video is still valid. It still works to this day. I get a lot of comments and feedback on it, and most common question people ask is, does it still work? Yes, it absolutely still does work. I still have it in my truck as a backup. But in this video, I will show you something better. I will show you how to hack a Verizon network to get unlimited 5G coverage, have much more powerful modem that will has like a category 20 modem that falls back into 4G LTE and has higher speeds. Basically, same thing with more security. We're gonna configure a VPN protocol. I'm gonna suggest you some devices and how I've set it up and the budgets basically we're dealing with. So to start with, we need first of all, you need a Verizon account. So for your regular phone service. So if you got iPhone or Android, that already has to be on the Verizon network and unlimited plan. I have iPhones for myself and my wife. Besides that, you're going to need subscription to this Verizon Jetpack. This is MiFi M2100. This Verizon distributes this. You can look up on their website. You can buy it, or it's $13.50 interest-free payments a month. Plus, it adds as a $20 line with 50 gigabytes of data on it. We're also going to need a Verizon subscription to one of the Verizon iPad plans. They're $20 a month. You just bring your own device and basically you get SIM card for it and you have unlimited data on that. That's $20 a month, and you'll see why. And finally, we're going to need to obtain a device. It's called GLINet MV1000W. This is a broom. It's just called they call it the Edge Computing Gateway. And basically what it is a very small form factor device that has a powerful dual core CPU. I think it's 1.2 gigahertz, something like that. But the most important thing is it's running WRT, which is open protocol. GLINet built in their own interface on top of it, but you have access to WRT. You can also flash it to other variants. So it's a kind of like open source device. It has 3 gigabit Ethernet ports, USB 3. This is for expansion. It could be storage. It could be other modems, tethered devices, and charging through USB-C connector. It has micro SD card input, so you can put I believe it supports up to 256 gigabytes micro SD, which could be shared as a network share for other devices. So if you want to have, but primarily the reason we're using this device, and you'll see why, this will unlock the unlimited data plan and provide the VPN tunnel to secure our data stream for all the devices that are connecting to it. So let's start from the beginning. Once you have all this, the MiFi device and Seago comes in this form factor. By itself, it's a very powerful device. It has very capable modem. It's 5G capable. I've tested it from California to Florida. On its own, it's a very powerful modem. And the only reason we need additional devices is because we do not have access to the firmware on this modem. So it's locked down by the Verizon. If you use it on its own, it has its own SIM card, and you'll have the data plan. In my case, the data plan comes with 50 gigabytes for $20 a month, and I can use it at any time. But once that 50 gigabytes is gone, the speed on this device throttles down to 600 kilobits per second if I'm on a 4G LTE network, and 3 megabits if I'm on a ultra wideband 5G Verizon network. Those are generally in the big cities. So outside of big cities, you'll see mostly 5G, or you will see the 4G LTE. But regardless, this modem is awesome here, and I'll show you how to break out of this limitation. So basically, let's start from the beginning here. I have a little Velcro here. That's just because I mounted my truck so I can stick it to the wall, and it stays attached. It's not permanently mounted or anything. We're going to get in this device, pop the rear cover off. There's a space where you put the fingernail in and then get the battery out. Now at this point the device is off. We're going to take the battery out and we'll get access to the SIM card slot right here. So all you have to do is depress it here and then use the other finger to push the card out and then slide it out. So let's get we're going to get the original SIM card that was in here out. I'm going to set it aside. We're not save that. That's every month you have 50 gigs basically of high priority data. And we're going to take our iPad, and I'm looking for my extractor tool. I just had it somewhere around here. All right, so once we extracted the original SIM card out of MiFi device, so it's empty, we're going to go in our iPad and extract the SIM card from the iPad. And this is a fully functioning iPad data plan subscription to Verizon as well. It's $20 a month. And I'll show you why. So we got the SIM card. We're going to go ahead and place the SIM card into MiFi device. Again, we just reverse what we do and we slide it in until it snaps in. Then we put the battery back on with the contact plates facing the correct way, so it makes the contact right there this way. And we snap the cover back on, aligning all the snaps back in. Okay, so that part is done. Now I can power up this device and it will connect to a data plan that used to be on your iPad. Now, the reason we're doing this switcheroo thing with the SIM cards is because this SIM card is attached to the data plan that has basically only data tethering. So no matter what data comes through, it counts it against your plan as a tethered data. So once I'm out of this 50 gigabytes, no matter what I do, Verizon will throttle my data. Now, I'm going to keep this SIM card saved because it does have higher priority data, and in a highly saturated network environment where you're in a busy city downtown or somewhere where there's a lot of traffic or something, this data it has higher priority than your tablet data, but it is limited. So that's why we taking a tablet SIM and putting it in this device. So once it's in here, you can power it up, and basically you could start using this as if a regular jetpack. You get the Wi-Fi off it and everything. And the only difference is once you use up your allotted tether limit, which on iPad side is 15 gigabytes, it will throttle it down. So we need something else to hack this device. So that's where this unit comes in, this router and a Wi-Fi repeater, because we will connect it via USB-C cable from the modem into the router, which that does basically create a tethered connection. So we connect the USB-C side into the modem, just like this, and the USB-A plug goes right in the router right here in this slot, like that. So the idea here, once it boots up, it provides wired tethered connection into this router, and then this router will do some IP magic in here to make the device believe that it's using internal data, because remember, we're using iPad data plan. So your data is unlimited. If for example, you're watching YouTube or Netflix on the device, you can watch hundreds of gigs of worth of content and there'll be no throttling. It's the tethered data that gets throttled. So we're going to configure this device in such a way that it'll make the data flow through this cable and into this modem, and it's going to make Verizon believe that you're using internal iPad data. That's the key here. So let's go next steps. We connected it here. In essence, we can power it up. You connect it to USB-C power source, which it comes with a, its own adapter. You can use your own, but once we power it up, I'm going to switch to computer side and have a screen capture. You can see how it works. On this side, this modem has its own battery, and when it's plugged in into this device and this device is powered, it's constantly charging it. So it can stay in this state indefinitely and permanently for days on end. I've tested this configuration. I drove from Ontario, California, which is a Los Angeles suburb, all the way to Orlando, Florida, and back. And it worked at every stop in between, everywhere. Some places I was getting 5G, and speeds were upwards to 120 megabits per second. Other places it was 4G LTE, and speeds dipped down into teens and so on. Everything based on your proximity to the cellular network and congestion at a time, because the cellular network is shared bandwidth across all the participants in that particular area that are present on the cell tower. But generally, the speeds I got off this unit were much higher than the previous router that I reviewed, and it simply has to do because the category of this modem, and you can do parallel. It can communicate with several different bands of 4G or 5G at the same time and aggregate that traffic. So it's a much more capable device and much more powerful, even though it does not have external antennas. It still works very well. So let's get in this unit and see how we configure this.
All right, guys. So we're looking at the default login screen for the GL-MV1000W router. The IP address right here, I already changed to my custom LAN, but by default, when you first time boot up, you'll see the Wi-Fi signal. Default IP address, I believe, is 192.168.8.1. So that first time you put in, that's probably going to be the address you may want to consult the manual or go on the forums. It's explained there in the box. In my case, I already changed that. I'm just going to briefly go through the configuration since we're at the point where we're going to look at the specific settings related to unlimited internet. Everything is a standard here. In terms of firmware, this is the firmware that comes default with the router. I did not flash it this time. As you can see, it already detected my MV modem, and it's in the tethering mode. So it has IP addresses that are assigned, local LAN. So the modem's already connected to the 3G, 4G, and then in essence, this router is now acting as an internet gateway. I'm connected to it via Wi-Fi, and it's giving out the internet. So the first thing you want to do after making an internet connection to this router, you want to go upgrade and go to auto upgrade, or online upgrade, and then if the version, it'll detect the version, get the latest firmware and everything going there before you do anything else. Okay, next step, we got to configure the TTL setting, which will actually unlock the unlimited data in your Verizon plan. So from here, we're done with this control panel here. It's fairly basic. This is custom GLINet. We're going to go click on more settings, scroll down to advanced, and click here. This will give you access to actual raw OpenWRT Lucy interface. The username is always root. The password is same as what you have set. It's either factory default or whatever you set during initial setup. So we enter it here, and we get into the Lucy interface. This is native WRT interface, and if you used WRT in the past, it should look very familiar. This router runs on WRT firmware. The GLINet just has custom interface to make it easier for their users, but in essence, in the background, that's what runs the actual router as far as operating system. So from here, we go network, firewall, and we click on custom rules tab, and there's going to be some settings in there. Ignore those, don't change anything. And we go to the end. You will have this these 4 lines. I'll have them in the video description, so you can just copy and paste it. But in essence, what it does, it instructs the router to set the TTL value for every outgoing packet to 65. This is very specific value, specific to Verizon data plan, having to do with the iPad devices and iDevices in general, how it treats the data. So there are 2 different. The main reason why we want to set this specifically 65 for this configuration, this value may be different in a different configuration. This value allows you to fool the Verizon edge device. So whichever device that receives these packets on the Verizon side, it does the quality of service and throttles the data. They monitor this value, and the value of 65 allows you to hide the IP traffic to make Verizon think that you're using device internal data, meaning that it thinks that you're using the data from your iPad itself, not tethering. because we put the iPad SIM card using iPad line, the data that you use inside inside of the device. So if you launch the YouTube app, for example, inside an iPad, or you open the Facebook, whatever data you pulling through, it's truly unlimited. It's the tethering that's throttled. So by setting this value right here, all the packets coming out of this router and going into the MiFi device, they masquerade as if they came internal to the that particular iPad, if that makes sense. So if it doesn't, it's okay. If you follow this setup procedure and you simply paste this and click save, you may want to reboot this router or whatever. This should unlock the unlimited data. So I already have everything configured here. We are connected to, so we connected to the Wi-Fi network, and let me drop my VPN connection. I'm just going to disconnect because that's another thing. We already have VPN connection here set up. So let's go back to the Lucy. Get out of the Lucy and get back into the protocol here. I already have OpenVPN clients set up with the NordVPN. So we have several server profiles. So the data is encrypted from that router on through the Verizon device. So the Verizon only sees the encrypted data stream going between myself and NordVPN server. So they don't know what kind of traffic I'm sending. They don't know anything about it other than that's just data. And the TTL is internal to their particular provider. So anyways, let's speed test this configuration. Remember, I'm indoors. We're only getting 4G right now in my area where I'm at the moment. And let's just see what we get. So this laptop is connected to this router right now. And this is the 4G LTE network right now in my area. So somewhere about 50 megabits per second download. Let's see what the upload is. And this is using OpenVPN too. So we're going through the VPN traffic. And that's part of the reason why we want this particular device. Now, you can use cheaper device than this. So we get 24 up, 52 down, 59 millisecond ping. And this is all through VPN. So you'll be faster probably if you don't have VPN. But the reason we use this particular device is because it has, for lack of better words, balls to pull the VPN. Remember, OpenVPN is very resource intensive. So a lot of these cheaper routers, their processors are just simply not fast enough to push the packets out. For example, using a previous generation routers, which you can get from GLINet or others, with like a 600 megahertz CPU and single core, maybe OpenVPN will get up to 9 megabits per second or so. So if you're not using VPN, you probably get away with using X750 or other routers that are $60, $40 or less. And this one in particular specifically designed to handle OpenVPN, and it'll do up to 100 megabits in the OpenVPN client, and several up to 300, I believe, in the WireGuard. Since WireGuard is not as commonly used and it's hard to find a reliable provider with WireGuard, mostly OpenVPN it's very reliable, very secure, encrypted VPN tunnel protocol, but it is resource intensive. So that's why we want to use this device in particular. You can get away with others, guys. Don't make a mistake thinking that only this device unlocks this power. No, the reality, what unlocks the unlimited data plan is the setting in the firewall. So if you can get to the firewall like this on some other device that you may have, you will have same capability of unlocking Verizon Unlimited plan. There's no reason to buy a more expensive device. The only reason I'm using this configuration setup, because for me, I want to have VPN. I don't want Verizon to know what kind of traffic I'm using, when I'm using it for, or anything like that. All they see is that there's data and it's coming from internal to the device that I'm on. Anyways, I hope this explains a little bit what I'm doing with this. This 100% works as of November 29th, 2021. Verizon been having all kinds of specials through the holidays right now, where you can get these jetpack devices for significantly less money than maybe it would cost otherwise. Right now, if you have a phone plan, a regular phone plan with Verizon, you can get that you buy the device, or you can get in a payment plan with them, and it costs $20 a month for 50 gigabit SIM card with it. And like I said, you do the switcheroo with your iPad, and you'll have uh, unlimited data anywhere you go. I've pulled as much as 300 gigabytes per month, and it's never throttled except for the areas where it's highly congested. Like if I show up in the downtown of the city during rush hour, it may be a little bit throttled down but that's different. That's congestion on a network, and your data is still subject to being deprioritized over others that have higher priority and so on. Regardless, you're not throttled down by default to 600 kilobits per second if you go over your plan limits.
Well, guys, thanks again for watching my videos. I appreciate any feedback. I'll have links to all the devices that I mentioned here down in the video description, as well as the TTL setting that you need to copy and paste. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. Ask them in the comments section. I try to get to everyone as much as I can. Some of these videos, we have hundreds of people asking questions. So, if there's some kind of common theme that I see, I'll try to respond in the video way. That way it covers the topic and everybody can see it in the future. You guys have a good day. Let me know how it turns out for you. If you're one of the people that are always on the move and don't have a permanent internet connection but still need broadband access, this is ideal for truckers like myself, for people in RVs, camping extensively, or living full-time RV. It's perfect for the boat. If you have a larger boat at the marina and you want to always have nice internet access during the summer season. It works great for a cabin or a second vacation home. You can take it with you. This is a small device. You can take it with you, and the entire family can have a solid Wi-Fi connection for their devices at home or while you're on the move. This is definitely something everybody could use. I mean, it could even be used as a permanent home internet connection. If you're not pulling terabytes of data, I don't think you're going to have a problem. A few gigabytes a month. Verizon does not seem to care. So anyways, good luck with this, guys, and I'll talk to you later.